I'm not ready. I'm not. I am not ready.
Hello, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to your Sunday Tonic conversation with the Love Crusader. And yes, it's one of those exciting editions that we have just introduced called the Love Seat, Hot Seat. We're going to try to make it a love seat, not a hot one. This is the show and the day where couples come and we throw some questions at them just to get to know them a bit more, know what their love story is about, and how they are navigating this love journey. If you are coming across this platform for the first time, it is called Conversation with the Love Crusader, where we have conversations about love, about life, about relationships. We are live 6 p.m. on Sundays on YouTube at Men Fences TV, on Facebook at Men Fences, and on LinkedIn on my personal profile. Please subscribe, share, so you don't miss any edition of this show. All right. I'm basically an observer today, although I don't understand what is happening to Sister Titilayo's internet. Hopefully it behaves well because Sister Titi is actually the main host and I'm co-hosting today. She's usually the host for Hot Seat so that people will not say I'm biased. So I leave the work to Titi. All right. Okay, let me introduce our guest. During the week, someone said I'm doing Pasha. That I've been sharing this plan, sharing it continuously because it's one of my favorite couple ever that are coming to the show. I say, he's allowed. Even God have those that he loves. After all, I say he will choose whom he will have mercy. That's Pasha. Why will he choose? So, and I'm a daughter of God. I behave like my father. All right, long story short, Emmanuel does not need introduction. He's a co-host on this show, and he's been doing a wonderful job. God has really been using him to bless us. But today he's not alone. Now you can see the powerhouse behind Emmanuel. The powerhouse behind Emmanuel is here today. The neck that is turning the head of Emmanuel. So all of you who have been watching the show, welcome with me, Mrs. Jenebu Obayoje, to the show for the first time. She's the one we're welcoming. She's the main guest.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're
It's a
welcome, my
pleasure to be
darling.
here.
Yes, welcome, love. And Emmanuel, welcome
Thank
again.
you.
Let's just
Wow.
welcome you again. Sorry. Let's just still welcome you again. Don't
Thank
be
you.
you understand now. It's not
I
easy to
do.
catch a big fish. We caught a big fish. So we should be
Awesome.
smiling. Okay. All right. And your host tonight is Titi Laya. So I'm just going to hand over to her and I'll be supporting from the bench. Here we go, Titi. The show is yours.
Thank you guys so much for um thank you so much for being here tonight. We're supposed to be having just a couple of questions, so just sit back, relax, enjoy us. I know it's a hot seat, but it's not that hot. It's not that hot. We're just trying to help us answer a couple of questions that would help some other person that knows some other person that knows some other person. Sometimes you think these things are simple, but from the responses you give, your experiences, the experiences you share, some other person is picking up a thing or two, and you'll be amazed at the kind of change, the kind of transformation that can take place in another person's marriage or relationship or situation, you know. So we have a couple of questions for you guys. Are you ready? Drum roll. Okay, we have a couple of questions. I have 8 questions here. And since they say ladies first, you will just choose any of the questions from 1 to 8. These are just simple questions, so they're tester questions, so they're just easy questions. So choose a question 1 to 8. Let's begin with that.
5.
1 to 8 questions. Okay, number 5. Very easy questions, so nothing, no big deal. Who is the best child minder amongst the 2 of you? Who is the best child minder?
I am. Except when they're sick. Except when they're sick.
Oh, really? Please, can you explain?
So yeah, generally I do a lot of, taking care of the kids and handling them. We do a lot of shared responsibilities at home, so we don't really do a lot of gender assignment when it comes to roles in the family. So whoever is available steps in. But again, like I said, for the most part, I do the minding, but when they're sick, they become daddy's boys because they're always very extra. And, daddy can take care of them at that point in time. So, yeah.
Is it because daddy's a doctor? Let's say it.
Yeah, really. And they tend to throw up and do all these things that is very difficult for me to handle. So
at that point,
wow.
I like that. Okay, go on.
Yeah.
Doc, do you agree with that?
Oh, well, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, there's nothing really to add to what Jenebo have said. So the way it works in generally, if the kids are with me, they are more like, Sound of Music. Captain in Sound of Music. I'm more like Captain. My wife is more like Maria. so it's like everybody's so proper and sit up and stay in the right place, do all that. But if you want to see the kids be themselves and go crazy, then yeah. So I guess my wife does more of the minding stuff. Yeah.
Okay, great. So let's take it up a notch. That was just a tester question. So since
awesome.
we are now all relaxed, Doc, choose your number. So
number 4.
Yeah, you're supposed to be relaxed now. So okay.
Oh yeah.
Number 4. Oh, you want to change the number?
Oh, I'll stick with 4.
Okay. Number 4 is like the middle of the question, but that's fine. So tell us one thing or 2 things that have sustained the marriage all these years. How long have you guys been married, by the way?
We got married 2016, July 16.
Oh wow.
So yeah.
So that's like how many years now? 1, 2.
July this year would be our 7th.
7th year. Wow. So there's a lot of story in there. There's a lot of story. So tell us one thing or 2 things that have sustained the marriage so far all these years.
Wow. That's a very good question. To narrow it down to 2 things. Okay. So, and I'll try to be as, practical and open as possible. The first thing I think has been.
That's why you guys are here. You know that.
I think it's what has been the bedrock of the marriage is our faith. And by that, I mean God. Because we've had all kinds of seasons within these 7 years that, it's like the common denominator in each of those seasons is, what we individually believe. And what we individually believe comes from our faith in God. So at the end of the day, whether it's when we've had a shouting fit, or when we're going through a time where everyone is sick, whatever seasons we've been in, what has driven how we eventually respond is what we individually believe, right? And what we individually believe, we both draw it from the scriptures, from our faith in God. So that truly has been the bedrock. It's our common denominator. Even when the wind has blown us to and fro, we find our center. We're still able to see each other face to face because of that common denominator. And then that's one thing, babe. Second thing.
No, you're the one answering, babe.
Oh, I'm the one answering you now. Wow, okay.
You're the one telling us the second thing. She will not tell us whether she agrees with you or not.
I see. Okay. So first thing is our faith. The second thing that I think has held us in place is we are friends. We have friendship, and I mean, if you have any friend, even your best friend, there are great days and then there are interesting days. But regardless of the seasons, there's nobody else I want to play with. And I mean, when I mean play, we can be the most silly, most ridiculous kind of play, and learning from one another. All that comes from just being genuine friends and liking each other, being able to stay in the same space with each other. For many months, we've had to work from home together. When COVID happened, for a lot of people, I guess it was strange because they were forced to work from home and see themselves. For us, it was like awesome, because we are very happy to be in each other's space, if that's the word to use. And that's because we're friends. So I think those two things have been key, and and they kind of oil our engine and keep us going. There are more, but those are just two that I can really pick on.
Awesome. The way she's even laughing, it's like I can see that she concurs. Like you hit the nail on the head because she agrees with you 100%. Well, please give it. Say it out. We're listening.
No, I totally agree with what he said. But I think what I want to add is just having your own personal convictions and commitment to the relationship. Like he said, even the best of friends have rough days. There was a time that I used to think, well, we should be happily married. And I just kind of, felt that is something that should happen every day or all the time. We should be happy all the time. But, I've grown to learn that happiness is not the goal of marriage. Giving God glory is the goal of the marriage, right? And I was having a conversation with my husband and I told him that, why are we not happy all the time? And he said, when you were single, were you happy all the time with yourself? Right? And the truth is I wasn't. So to carry that kind of expectation into marriage and expect that you should be happy all the time, puts pressure on you, it puts pressure on your spouse, right? You can't be happy all of the time, right? But at the end of the day, when you're committed to a relationship, because like you said, we've had rough patches, and what has really kept me grounded was just thinking of the fact that, okay, this is a phase that will actually come to an end and a new season will start, right? So I keep myself grounded knowing that I'm not going to be unhappy forever, right? And it's a season that will come and go. So that's something, my personal conviction and my commitment to this relationship.
Wow, that's deep, man. That is deep.
Yeah,
That
thank you,
is
thank you,
quite
thank
deep.
you.
And
And I'll be taking glory. I'll be taking glory for anything deep she says, you know.
come on now. But she's the one that put the words together and vocalized it. So
Yeah. Thank
When
you,
I
thank
say
you.
powerhouse behind the doctor, are you beginning to understand? Okay, I won't say any of that thing. I'm quiet.
no, that was deep, and that is quite that would having that understanding would keep you level-headed, it will keep you stay on realistic grounds, right?
Mhm.
So that is interesting. So we're speaking the next. I think we have just one more question before we go to the rapid questions and couples game. So who is picking the next number?
I'll do 7.
Okay, let's see. Number 7. Number 7. Oh, how did you know that he was the one, and what did you do, or what happened for you to know that made you know that he was the one?
I just keep picking the best questions.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Good luck. That's a long one.
Come on now.
Yeah, so it's a very interesting story, right? I was actually in a different city, like over an hour away from where Emmanuel was at the time. And I used to live with my brother then, and we're moving, right? We're moving out of that city to a different city. And when I was leaving, I told my pastor that I was leaving, and I was at the time a member of the choir. So he told me, he has a pastor friend of his that has a church, close to the city where I was going, and that I should go visit. I was like, okay. I really didn't go for like the first 2 weeks because we're still settling down, with moving and stuff. So I decided, okay, I'll go pay the church a visit. So I did. Turns out the church was like an hour away from where I was leaving. So I told myself, I'm just going because my pastor asked me to go, and that's it. And one service and I'm done. So I did go. And I sat at the back of the church like I usually do when I'm new somewhere. I stay at the back and I just observe what's going on. I sat at the back, and it was time for announcement, and I saw this tall guy come on stage and trying to give announcement. I'm like, And my husband can speak English, he's always so.
Wow. Wow.
I love even you are just receiving some revelations now.
Wow.
I love his voice. It's something that I've always loved about him. And he started to talk, and I was like, this guy really looks handsome. And in my head, I said, please lift your hands up. I don't know, because I wanted to check if this guy wearing a ring or not, because I'm not about to start, somebody's spouse. So he did. He lifted his hands. I'm like, no ring. Okay. So, yeah. After church, I met with the pastor, and he was like, he kind of introduced me to Emmanuel. I was like, this is the choir leader. And they said, you need to join. I was like, I don't know if that's possible. I live like an hour away. It's a long commute. I was a student at the time. And I didn't think I had the money or the resources to buy gas and all that to get to church. But I did go. Yeah. Really because of Emmy. So I figured, so basically I positioned myself to be seen, if that makes any kind of sense. And we we got talking. We became friends instantly. I mean, and yeah. How I knew he was the one.
History.
Yeah, how I knew he was the one is basically I didn't see him and say, love at first sight. No, but after conversations and spending time together, understanding his faith, his background. We are both from large families. We had a lot of things in common, and I just I prayed about it, of course. I told my family, my mom especially, and yeah, that was it. It was a done deal. I was
Nice,
ready to
nice,
get
nice,
married, by
nice.
the
Doc,
way,
let's
so
hear your
I
own.
wasn't wasting time. I knew I was ready to get married, and we just got it done.
Yes, ma'am.
Doc, were you ready to get married? Tell us your own side of the story.
That's that's the thing. That's why I am nodding and agreeing with her, because everything happens in seasons. So to everything, there's a time and a season. Sometimes, like when I was single, there was a time I felt, oh, I could get married now, but it wasn't aligned for me to actually get married. And when it was the season, so number one for me is I was convinced. I've dated other people in my past, right? But when I started dating my wife, I was convinced. So, and when I asked my wife to marry me, I'm going to be honest with you, I did not have some kind of thriving job, or everything wasn't settled and awesome. But I was so convinced that I was bold enough to ask, if you get what I mean.
So for other people you had dated in the past, there was no conviction, or was it a different kind of...
you need to get there. Honestly, when you're dating somebody, you need to get to the point where you are convinced that this is the person, to the point where you're asking them to marry you, and nothing else. You don't see what people might consider a limitation. You don't see limitation. You're fully convinced, is the way I'll put it. So I was. Of course, from her own story, you can tell. If I give you my own version of this story, is that I was in church, I was a choir coordinator, I was a drummer, I was the administrator, I was like so many things in church, Mr. Very Busy. My pastor's wife tells me, oh, there's a lady coming from Houston. The pastor have told her that she used to be a choir member. So awesome, for good news for me. I'll be having a choir member that'll be coming to join the choir, because we're looking for more members to join the choir at the time. And okay, no worries. She shows up. I was giving an announcement when I cited her from, the podium. But I kept on going through my
serious? No.
The church, at the time, it wasn't such. We were not. The church wasn't as big, and I must confess, I know everybody in the church. That time, I knew everybody. So if anybody was visiting for the first time, I would know, right? So I noticed her from that standpoint of, oh, there's somebody new here, and because of how beautiful, she looked. I told myself, there's no way this lady is single. That was what I told myself. Right? So I was not.
Choir members are doing in church. Oh boy!
We're worshiping.
We're worshiping. We were praying with our eyes open.
This worship, wonderful.
We were praying with our eyes open. When you pray, what and pray. We're watching and we're praying, but. At the end of the service, my pastor's wife calls me, hey, Emmanuel, this is the person I told you about. Her name is Jenebo. I was so happy to see her. Like, are you going to come back? Please come back, But all along, I'm like, wow. She's carries herself with dignity. She's respectful. So there were many things to love, right? To like about her. And again, it's important that we mention we were in that season of life where we were ready. I was in that season. After we're now in the church, we're serving. It was not like we started dating the next week. No, we were serving in choir ministry for a long while, and things happened and all that. And we became friends, and from becoming friends, serving together, connecting all around, we came to that decision of, okay, I'm ready. And she was like, okay, she's ready. And we looked at ourselves like, really? But we were convinced. and we've been going with that conviction. It's important that I state, for me, I am very happy, or it's super important to me that it was a choice I made. And I say that because I've come to find out, of course, over the years that marriage is not a bed of roses. You guys know, you guys are there older than we have been, but longer than we've been, but it's not a bed of roses. So if you make that commitment, the will to back up that commitment through every season comes from knowing that this was my choice. So as far as I'm concerned, I'll live and die with my choice. So I made this choice. I will honor this choice before God till the end. That's how I see it. It's different if someone had made that decision for me, because when the wind blows, I'll probably be like Adam, turning and saying, it's your fault. It's this other person's fault. But the wind had been blowing, and I've been telling myself, it's my fault, nobody else. We prayed about it.
Your choice.
We said, yep, my choice. So and I'm happy with that choice. So that's a bit of our story. Of course, there's more to it. We can't say everything, today, but that's a bit of our story.
Before you continue, me, I have plenty of questions on top of the question. Because Sister Jenebu says she positioned herself to be seen.
Strategic position. Come on.
That's a sermon for a day, full day. Because, like my husband said in his comment, he said the woman is a confirmed woman. I know what it means. Some will be forming. Sisters, let's talk to our sisters. If you like a brother, please position yourself to be seen. Don't go to church with a frown face. You are not carrying the problem of the world on your head, and it is not spirituality. At least this Sister Jenebu was looking shabby, untidy. That day she was going to that church, maybe because she had gone for 1 hour journey. Like, I didn't expect this place to be this far. Why did my pastor tell me to go to this far church? Or, she had gone with that kind of attitude. She did not know that there will be one brother doing announcements that day. Not that kind of thing. So this is just me picking from Sister Jenebu's testimony to admonish all the other beautiful sisters in church. Please position yourself to be seen. Be approachable. Let brother be able to greet you. Carry all the hairs on your head. You are feeling like even pastor self is afraid to talk to you. And you want to marry. How is it going to happen now, sister? Brother is looking at you, but he's afraid. This sister that don't used to smile. Who knows now if I go, how she's going to talk to me? Emmanuel said she was polite. There was everything to like. Me, I'm listening and I'm counting it and writing it down. There was everything to like. There was everything to like. Even without love, there was something to like. Do you get what I mean? So this is the lesson for us. We are not just sharing these love stories because we want to talk. We want people to be able to learn from these stories. And Brother Emmanuel was busy serving the Lord. And the Lord was cooking a beautiful damsel all the way from Houston to come and in the place of service, good things will always find you.
Excuse me.
Okay, let me keep quiet. Sister Titi, continue. I won't talk again. I will talk. But Sister Titi, continue.
Before you ask the rest of your questions, let us just quickly do the rapid question thing. Then
one more. One person has not picked his second question.
Oh, really?
Jennifer has picked two. Ima has not picked two. Ima needs to pick his second question.
Oh, okay. Please go ahead.
Okay, question 1, please.
Okay. I think you have technically answered question 1.
Then question 8.
About okay. I think that everything is interwoven into each other, because question 1 was to ask, was it love at first sight?
Wouldn't say that.
Was it love at first sight?
It was more like at first sight. And Mama C is right in the sense of, one of the things my wife told me, she cannot marry somebody that she's not attracted to. So attraction is based on what you can see. It's based on what you gotta like what you see, right? So I know that maybe from how busy I was in church, I have to look the part if I'm going to do announcement or stuff. But she, like Mama C was saying, she's her first time coming to the church, but yeah, she's beautiful naturally, but more than that, the way, like I said, the way she carried herself, the way she talked to people, the way she was cordial, her attitude. You ask her a question, she responded like somebody that is intelligent. She wasn't forming over spirituality. No.
You have hit the nail on the head.
They were coherent. We can have a conversation. It's not some kind of. I know we're in church and
spiritual celestial being that came down.
We could talk, ask her who she was, where she was from, what she was doing. She could give you very coherent answers, nothing to throw you off and sound weird or awkward.
In fact, in summary, she was herself. She was just herself.
Exactly. So it was like at first sight. I'm not going to lie about that. I liked her, and I told her, man, that day, I can't forget that day because that sister's hot. So I told myself, that was personal. I didn't tell her that. I told myself. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
I told myself there's much to like, but there was no guarantee she was going to come back the next Sunday. Right? So you just continue to be yourself and be nice and be kind, and we got to know each other over time, and then it made more sense. So that's my response to that question.
Okay.
Wow.
Someone said from this experience,
wasn't love at first sight for you.
Let me read one comment. They say from this doctor's experience, our announcers in church go be single people going forward. No more old or married people. Go on, my darling.
So sis, was it love at first sight for you or like at first sight?
Yeah, so like I said, it was like I liked the way he looked. I didn't know him, right? So I needed to take some time to get to know the person. It's one thing to have a beautiful container. I wanted to know what the content was too, because at the end of the day, the content is more important than the container, right? But yeah, I liked him at first, and I decided to strike a friendship with him just to get to know him. So,
in fact, this is very strategic, very intentional. You decided to strike in fact, I hope these single people are learning and taking notes. This is awesome. Okay, so let's quickly go to our rapid questions before I hand over to Mama. Okay, rapid questions. Sharp. Who leads prayers?
Either of us.
Yeah, both of us.
Who prepares faster for church?
Faster for church.
Mm-hmm.
We all leave at the same time.
Who gets ready quicker? Who gets ready quicker?
I will give that one to Emmy, but I think we both do. If we know we're going to church the next day, we get our things ready, so nobody is like lagging. Yeah. We're always on time, so yeah.
Who's the best cook?
She really?
Emmy.
My mother raised good boys.
Who's more social?
Social.
Oh, okay.
I'll give you, right? Yeah. I can be very introverted. But I think I'll give my wife that one.
Okay, so of course, life of the party.
You're more social, do you think you're more social?
It depends on the situation, right? Yeah. So I can approach people easily that I don't know and make friends with them. Emmy's not that way. Once Emmy gets to know you, then he's everywhere. He's the life of the party, right? But if we are going to get out of our comfort zone, I'm the one that would strike a conversation with someone that I don't know first. Yeah.
Wow, I'm loving this blend. This is like a smooth blend. That's lovely. That's lovely. Who is the spender?
I am.
Oh. Without any doubt, no argument about this one.
No.
Okay. Who is the stricter one?
What the what?
The stricter one.
Strict? From what standpoint? From what standpoint?
Not any standpoint, whether it's spiritual
wow.
or physical, or who is the stricter one?
Yeah. Like I said, I'm the captain in Sound of Music, and she is Maria. So that explains it.
Yeah. All right. Who is more adventurous?
Jinebu.
I am.
Okay. Who is more spontaneous?
I am. We have to plan
Who is the
everything.
funny one?
That's both of us, yeah? Funny.
Yeah, but we are funny. So
Yeah?
Who
You
Who
think?
is funnier?
Wow, okay.
Emmy, I'll give you.
Yeah.
I think she is, but okay.
All right. That's lovely. That's lovely. I'm loving this blend. So are you ready for our couples game? Do you have a pen and a paper? or
Oh,
a
really?
marker?
That kind of game?
A marker. I'm sorry, I didn't tell you. It's supposed to come with a marker.
No kidding.
A marker and what?
A paper and a marker. So that
Are we going to hold it up to the camera?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, give me 1 second.
Please.
Thank you.
Okay, that's great. While we're waiting for her to come, let me fire one question at Dr.
Okay.
Go on.
Relax, don't be afraid. Don't worry. It's easy.
Titi, I'll be the host when it's your hot seat. Don't worry.
Next month, please be the host. That's what I will do.
Okay, let me be nice. She's here.
Okay, thank you.
Great.
Thank you for being nice.
Okay,
All right, I got it.
Do you have your paper? Do you have your
Yes.
marker?
Yep.
Okay, great. Could you just write something and put it at the screen? Let's see if we can see it.
You see?
Oh,
Great.
fantastic.
Fantastic.
Great.
Okay.
That's lovely. So, are you guys ready? I can hear some heartbeats increasing. Calm down.
So I think what we
Okay.
should do, Titi, it looks like Jay has the board and the marker. So let Jay do the writing answers and let Emmy respond verbally after Jay has shown you her answers. Jay, Emmanuel should not see what you're writing.
But if I hold it up to the screen, he's gonna see it, right? So
Yeah, he would answer
No,
first.
we will ask him first. We will verbally answer
Okay.
first before we confirm
Okay, and then
what you have written. But while
Okay,
you are
got it.
writing, make sure, sister, be in the spirit. Don't show
Okay.
brother. No
Okay.
Ojoro. No keys.
Okay.
Don't bend your eye and look at me one corner. No Ojoro.
no spying.
No
Okay.
spy.
Let's
All
try.
right, let's get there. Let's go there.
All right, are you ready? So,
Yeah.
the question I'm going to be asking now would be, okay, sis, you're the one with the board, right?
Yes, I am.
So I'm asking Doctor the question, and the question is
Okay.
about, you're going to be answering the question about her. So the question is about
Okay.
her. The response you're giving is about her. Okay, let's do
Okay.
this. So question 1 is, if she's angry, what's her first reaction? If she's angry, what's her first reaction? Sis, write your answer down first, then he can answer.
Bend your
First
side like you say. I
reaction.
like that. But don't let it.
So she should write
Like
first
this.
before I respond.
So that-
Okay.
Let her
Wow.
write to you.
Yeah, she should write.
Let you write first.
This
Oh yeah, you
is
can
maybe-
respond.
what's her
You can
first
respond.
reaction?
Has she written?
I have not yet because
Wait, let her write. though.
No, write first now before, no, so that she doesn't change her mind. Come on
I
now.
have no
Yeah.
idea what it is. I have an idea.
When you're angry, what is the first thing that you will do?
It's like we should put time out to this thing.
I love you and you love me. Let me be singing love song for you people.
Okay now.
Yeah.
I love you and
Sis, are you
love
done?
me.
Yeah. Okay, you ready?
I
Yeah,
even know my egg.
Don't look at her to ask whether she's ready. Just focus on us. Look
I'm
at us to
focused.
ask.
I'm
You say,
focused.
okay. So go ahead. Let's hear your
If she's
answer.
angry, I think her first reaction is to talk to me, to speak up about whatever it is that she's mad about. That's what I think. She will say
Okay.
something essentially. So
Sister.
Okay,
What
let's
do you
see the board. Let's see your answer.
I take a
I
break.
breathe. Talk. Well,
Okay.
well. Talk is under that. Is it breathe or break that I'm saying?
Yeah, she breathes. Like take a breath.
Talk is under that.
The
So
breathing.
okay. Oh, okay. So talk is under. So technically, we'll give it to you, Doc. We'll give it to you, Doc. Don't worry. Okay, the next question. Are you still here? Are you still with me?
Yes.
absolutely.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so, wait. So the next question is, okay, you won't be the one answering all the question. I think this next one is, you are the
It's a
one
question.
that's going to answer. Doc is the one to write.
Okay, so
Uh-huh.
move the board over to Doc.
Just
Yeah,
one
move the
second.
board over to Dr. Emmanuel. What are they trying to do? Are they trying to switch? Okay, I've not sent the question yet, so
Maybe space so that you can see, they can be able to project the board better. Or maybe he's going to get a board for himself too, so that
okay.
I should have told them to come with the writing board and the marker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I've not let the cat out of. I've not said the question yet, so I was thinking maybe they were trying to confirm
Welcome
with
back.
each other. Are you guys ready? Can you hear me?
They are muted and they are talking.
Oh, really? We can't hear you guys.
Are you doing
We can't hear
Riaza?
you.
There we are.
Yeah, we're just
Okay.
trying to
Oh.
keep the camera steady.
Yeah, so that I can.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, see the way he's holding the Bible.
Yeah, I think I like this answer very well.
Very strict.
It wasn't be your turn. You're right. All right, sis. Are you ready?
I think so.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Sis, are you ready for the question?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So the answer you're going to give is about him.
Okay.
So if money was not a problem, what's the first thing he would invest in if he stumbled upon $1 million now? What's the first thing he would invest in?
Okay.
Let him
Should I wait
answer
for him
first.
to write, or can I say my answer?
Wait for him to write.
Okay.
I said, what's the first thing I would invest in?
Yeah.
If you had $1 billion.
Yeah.
What a question. Oh boy. Ah.
It's like doctor is writing like a passage or something. I don't.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll
Okay,
say real estate.
let's hear it. Why would you say that?
So I mean, we talk about things like this, right? What he would like to do, and I know he's over the course of our conversations talked about investing in real estate and investing in solar energy. So I'll go with real estate for now. It might be the other one. I don't know. So.
Okay, let's see.
Oh.
You see, since I saved you because I asked you to explain.
Explain, yeah. That's why I kind of.
That makes with the explanation. Oh, that's awesome. With the explanation, it makes more sense, really.
Yeah.
So I think this should be the last and final question.
Okay.
But Doc, if money was not a problem, what would she invest in?
Wow. Love.
Don't love me. What would I invest?
You want her to help you. That helps you.
So let me give my answer in an explanation format, because there are many things that are
Okay, you never can tell if I don't save you.
oh boy. My wife she has a heartbeat for women that are disenfranchised, widows. So I feel like she would look to do something like that.
NGO maybe.
Yeah, something that gets her to take care of those kind of people. Anything women empowerment type thing. I would think she would have a drive for that.
Sister J, we should work together. Anyways, you have not confirmed whether it's the truth. Let me not run my mouth yet.
Oh, and then what else would my wife? She'll find a business to invest in, maybe fashion. My wife, she has a heart for fashion. From a business, if it's just business, strictly business, not like doing what's your heartbeat. Yeah, my wife is a fashionista. What else can I put?
Yeah, that's he got it. He got it. Yeah.
So those are the things that I can just pop up from my mind.
Let's see after this. We need to discuss about our NGO. It's long overdue because that's my heartbeat. It is my heart to be able to help as many vulnerable women that I can in the world. If God were to bless
my argument has always been, why is it women centered? But I guess historically women have been more disenfranchised.
As a man from starting your own. Why are you quarreling? Is it not me and my sister that are discussing our future heartbeat? You want my heart to beat for you? My heart beat for you. Our heart beat for us. What makes you show? Sister J, we'll have, me and you, we connect after. People should continue.
Sounds good to me. Yeah.
All right, now, so the last question and the final question, who is taking this one? Sis, I think you should be the one with the board.
Oh, yeah. It's my turn now. It's my turn to throw a question.
Okay.
So
I have one question per person.
Okay.
And my questions it's not objective questions. So it's not a yes or no. It's not a writing paper X. You have to actually explain. It's a theoretical explanation kind of question. Don't mind me, I'm joking. Dr. Osebo, would you rather be loved or respected?
You need to define what you mean by love. Are we talking about love in
Just
terms
answer
of
it. Not the way you know it. Just say it like that.
You are a co-host on a love show. How can you tell me to define love? You know what love is now. Give me some trouble.
So the reason
love is a situation whereby in which
That's so funny.
That was good. Okay, let me explain my answer. The way I see love.
Not the answer.
Good God.
It's only explanation that can save you from this question. Only explanation.
Would you rather be loved or respected? Okay, so I'll say respected, but I would explain. Okay, so my understanding of the question is love from the standpoint of just romance, romanticization of things. And my understanding of respect is from the standpoint of, holding somebody in high regard and giving somebody or a thing very high value. So based on that understanding, I would rather be respected. Now, having said that, the way I see love, there's no way I would say I respect somebody without loving them, or vice versa, say I love somebody and then don't respect them. How can that actually happen? Which was why I was like, I need some kind of clarity. It's difficult to say I love my wife, but I treat her like crap. Would you actually agree if I tell you I love her? You would say, you're just saying it out of your mouth. It's not true, right? But at the same time, is it possible for me to say, oh, I respect my wife, and then everything that anybody would know about how you treat somebody you love, I don't do? You would say I don't respect her. So it's the reason why, from the way I understand the question, I would rather be respected. But in my mind about love and respect, they are really together. That's it.
Good. You know why I always ask men this question?
Smart answer.
I'm not trying. Yeah, he's a smart man now. Don't worry. I'm not trying to diss the popular mantra of men, but I mean, someone as esteemed as the late Miles Munro concurred that the greatest need of a man is respect, and I've always had a problem with that mantra. Because when you keep analyzing the greatest need of a man is respect, the greatest need of a man is respect, it cannot be one thing. Just like you said now, they are intertwined, they are tied together. And what is respect to A is not respect to B. Respect is a relative term. Yep. For some men, respect is you cook, you kneel down, give them water to wash hand as their Lord, as your Lord and Savior of your body. That's respect. For some other, it is that as a woman under a man, even when you can do something and you know you can do it on your own, you still give that recourse back to my man. What do you think about this thing? This is what I'm thinking. This is my idea. What do you have to say? What's your input? For some, that alone is respect. So when you conclude and just say the greatest need of a man is respect, I don't really agree with it fully. And right now you have I would like you have by your explanation agreed with me that you cannot respect without loving. You cannot love without respect. If you truly, to be able to respect someone properly, you have to love them. If I don't love you, I don't care about respecting you, of course. The only reason why I would care to respect you is because I love you. Okay. That was my question for Dr. Sylvester J. Waiting. Would you like to get your own question?
Yes.
All right. It's very simple. What's your deal breaker? What is your unforgivable? Your deal breaker? Why are you doing home for her? Is it your question?
No, it's not. I love the question.
You love the question?
Yeah. Because everybody, we're all human, right?
Yes. Despite she's told us how beautifully committed she is, you know, and everything, she's committed, she's convinced, and her conviction, but let's hear. Maybe there's that one thing.
So I guess if you had asked me this question, like when I got married, the response I would have given to you and the response I would give now are two different things, right? So it keeps changing. Let me just put it out there. As I grow older, or as I, spend more time in marriage, I get clarity or understanding of things. And I've actually been thinking about this question for a long time myself. Yeah. Like, what is my deal breaker? What is that thing that would happen that, honestly, if I'm being real with myself, I don't have any deal breakers. And this is what I'm going to say to that. I pray to God to continue to increase my capacity to accept people, to accept my spouse, right? Because we are all changing. We are both changing daily. He's growing, I'm growing, and the change might not be for good all the time, right? I could be changing in a negative direction. He could be changing in a negative direction, but we are changing, we're evolving. And I try to make room for that change and evolvement. So, all that evolution. And for me, if I say I don't have any deal breakers, but my spouse is so adamant on one thing and says, if you do this thing, and I find out, then I'm going to walk out of this marriage, right? Right? Wow. If for any reason he does that thing, I'm going to remind him and walk out of the marriage. Is the point I'm trying to make. Because on my own, I'm not saying, again, the reason why I say I don't have deal breakers, and I mean, marriage is different for everybody. I know some people are in abusive marriages. I'm not. So I'm not even considering that. It's not something that I'm putting in as a factor, like physical abuse, because I feel like that should be a deal breaker for anybody, right? You have to be safe first. You have to make sure your life is intact and all that. So not considering that, I'm not putting that into play because that is not my experience, right? But any other thing, I think that I have the capacity to make room or to be able to forgive somebody and move on, right? But if my spouse, on the other hand, has not grown to that level and thinks if I falter or make a mistake and that's a deal breaker and they're leaving the marriage, and I know because we have conversations like this, when that spouse falls into that temptation and does that thing, then I'll walk out, just as a way of saying I can walk out or something. So that's
okay. So your deal breaker is when your spouse gets their deal breaker and offends in their deal breaker. You have no deal breaker of your own.
Yes.
You.
Wow.
You got it.
Next time I've ever heard that kind of response.
You are that's it. I don't know. God is amazing.
Mama, we need to bring her back on.
Do you hear that response, Mama?
Bring her back on.
We need to bring her back.
You hear that response?
It took me to get her this one, and you hear Jenebu, they already say we need to bring you back. There is a lot in that woman. She's a powerhouse.
You gotta come back. You gotta come back.
And she's hiding this powerhouse, so she don't want to come and release. When God has put so much in her, you gotta release it. Give it out, sis. Pour out.
I'm giving it out.
So, Dr. Sabo, I've helped you this evening. The conversation is not going to continue on my show because I don't have the time anymore. Dr. Sabo,
go first and continue.
He has some comments.
But we need to hear from Dr. too. What is his own?
Oh no. That's a very good answer. It's actually a very, very good answer. That she doesn't. Answer. Yeah, she doesn't outrightly have a deal breaker. Is a great answer. The Bible says love covers multitude of transgressions, right? So, there are things that, the funny thing is, it's one thing to say something, it's another thing to live out that thing. For example, before I got married to my wife, one of the things I was like, this is an absolute no-no for me. I struggle with this, is anything that has to do with lie, right? Between me and her, what you see is what it is. So if somebody's lying, it impacts me. Like I just get frustrated. Why would you even think of lying to me? That's how I was as a single guy. When I got married, I realized that, dude, you cannot handle the truth all the time. So it's not as if somebody's lying to you. Sometimes the person has evaluated the circumstance surrounding this information and has decided to withhold it from you for the time being and disclose it to you at a later time when your brain is normal. So in the past, I would have judged it as that's deception. That's not transparent. That's not straightforward. Give it straight. But I've learned you cannot always handle it straight sometimes. So all that to say, whatever it is that might be a deal breaker might actually be a different ball game when you're actually living out that circumstance. You may find that.
I like the way, and this is the notes on which I want to end because my time is up. I'm going to bring Sophie Yogo for this debate she's about to start about love and respect. That one is another topic, Sister Sophie. We'll talk about it some other time. But for now, my time is up. But there's something I must conclude on. And that is the fact that both of you would always make reference to the fact that when you started out, this is what you would have done. This is what you would have believed. This was your idea of marriage. This was your idea of relationship. But with time, this has changed, that has changed, and sweethearts, this is what marriage is about. This is why they say it's a university you never graduate from. What do you do in a university? You learn. We keep learning, we keep growing, we keep evolving. The issue I have as a personal person is when I see couples who don't want to change, who don't want to grow. It is okay to come in with the ideas of maybe marriage from how your parents used to run it, how your mom did it, how your dad did it, how your uncle or people around you did it. Yes, come in. That's your foundational knowledge. Or even how the Bible and how the counselors taught you. But when you come into the marriage, it's time to learn each other. It's time to begin to talk to each other. It's time to communicate. It's time to grow up on each other, and it takes two. In fact, it is more frustrating when you have one person growing and the other one is not. The other person is not making effort to change. They're not making effort to be better, to make better choices, to make better decisions. I love your love. And I think I made it very clear this week. I say, yes, they are one of my favorite couples ever. So that's why I'm sharing it and I'm announcing it, that one of my favorite couples are coming to the hot seat. By the way, I just got a new name. I think it should be a love seat, Titi. We'll talk about that later. Yeah, let's not make it hot again. Let's call it our love seat. Because this is a love channel. We're not preparing anybody there. Nothing hot. Everything about us is love. And I love love. I love it when I see couples who are working. No, it's not perfect anywhere. It's not perfect anywhere. I'm not the love crusader because it is perfect in my house. Titi is not a true love expression because she knows how to express the best of love. And sometimes we're not in the mood for love. If you catch me at some of my worst days, you will not even believe that I ever believe in love. But the fact is, we change, we evolve, we learn, we grow up, and we stay committed to each other. Thank you, my darlings, for showing up. Especially Jenebu. I brought the jeans.
Thank you for coming, agreeing to come back again. Thank you, Mama. You can end it.
Thank you for having me.
You see why I love
it's been a pleasure.
Committing you to come back again. Thank you so much for being a blessing to us. I'm sure a lot of people have learned from your love story and from what is going on with you. This is all the show is about. We want to encourage people. There's love out there. There's true love out there. It is possible with the right foundation, with the right attitude, with the right people working towards it, with us not giving up on ourselves. No perfection. Don't expect perfection. We work on being better. We work on growing together. We keep staying in love. Thank you so much, Dr. and Mrs. Emmanuel Obayeje, for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Beautiful for hosting us today. And thank you to every one of you. I've not had this so much comments in a long time. Thank you to all of you who have made comments. Thank you so much for all of the questions, the answers. Next week, we are talking about self-love. You don't want to miss it. To be able to love someone else, you got to begin with yourself because you cannot give what you don't have. So we are going to extract what it means to love ourselves so that we can be able to just spread this love all over onto others. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We love you. We love you. We love you. The state was very interesting. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you for sending your comments. We are encouraged by all of you who are commenting. God bless you. I love you. I love you, Jay. I love you, Manu. I love you, Titi. Let's have a love-filled week, everyone.
You too.